Thor, Love and Thunder is an incredible cacophony of sight and sound. It is so big, it is so grandiose, it is so Taika Waititi, and I think that's one of the great strengths of the film. This is the most Taika-tastic a film can be. It has a lot more DNA with Jojo Rabbit or Boy than anything in the rest of the MCU, and much in the same way that Multiverse of Madness is a Sam Raimi film first, and then an MCU film. I feel the same about this. It is really bittersweet in its humor. It has a humorous melancholy to it that I think Taika specializes in that I really, really enjoyed. It's a bit of a darker film than I think a lot of people anticipate, and that ties into the Jason Aaron Assad Rabis run that this is largely based off of, and Gorr within that run is absolutely incredible. Christian Bale brings such a different take to a Marvel villain here, whereas Thanos and Killmonger especially are both psychologically driven in that you're afraid to identify with them. You definitely understand to a point where both Thanos and Killmonger are coming from, and you get the same with Gorr, but from a different perspective and in a different way, and that is more chilling. It's more outwardly terrifying. It's almost a more horror villain take. I also think that you get to see Thor, Odin's son, in a very different way here, and what they're able to do with it being a love story, as they've talked about in press quite a bit, is so beautiful and so interesting. And there's nothing quite like Chris Hemsworth's Thor. Like, Chris Hemsworth is able to bring such comedy with pathos in it. Like, you feel for him while laughing with him. And then you've got, I think, some of the best chemistry we've seen in the MCU with him and Jane Foster. This is what Natalie Portman was hired for. This is why Natalie Portman was supposed to be Jane Foster, is the relationship in this movie. Now their relationship is so beautiful and intricate and full of depth and character. If you want giant side of the van 80s action, you're gonna be very happy. Tessa Thompson gets more time to be Tessa Thompson. There's so much going on with her as Valkyrie, and there's so much that they were able to do with her character that the other films hadn't got a chance to yet, that it really, really fleshes out her character in a way that I wasn't necessarily expecting. I think Valkyrie's the MVP of the film for me. I don't want to give anything away, so I'm gonna wrap this up. I loved that the trailers didn't give any of the things that some Marvel trailers lately have been giving away. I went into this knowing the comic books, and I went into this knowing, I don't know, 5 minutes of footage, and that's what I'd recommend you do as well. It's very special, it's very heartwarming. I still struggle, admittedly, with the pacing and some of the tone choices. As much as I enjoy them, it does definitely bring me into a different headspace with the character that I usually feel with the comic book. And to be honest, it took me a bit with Spider-Man as well. This isn't how I perceive Thor, but that's not on the filmmakers. That's, you know, my take on the character. So see it, enjoy it. It'll be fun to talk about it when we do our spoiler review. And the end, though, probably my favorite last 5 minutes. Probably my favorite button to wrap up a film. Go see Thor, Love and Thunder. It is a goddamn delight.